Hey, my name is Jacob, and I never pictured myself as the type of guy who would end a relationship over a trip. But looking back, it wasn't just about the trip, it was about everything it symbolized. It all started a few weeks ago when Rose casually mentioned her plans for a girls' trip with her friends. Babe, it's going to be amazing, she had said, her eyes glowing with excitement. Just me and the girls, relaxing and letting loose? I knew her friends well enough to understand what letting loose meant. Drinking until sunrise, flirting for free drinks, and making choices they often regretted the next morning. They weren't bad people, just reckless. Rose always reassured me that she wasn't like them. At first, I didn't say anything. I trusted her, even if I wasn't entirely confident about the influence of her friends. But then, little by little, things began to change. Initially, it was supposed to be a simple spa retreat, harmless enough. Then, it turned into a beach getaway. A few days later, they decided that Miami would be more exciting. And finally, the biggest shift happened over dinner one evening. "Hey, babe, remember Lucy's boyfriend, Kevin?" Rose said casually. "He's coming now, and he's bringing his friends." I set my fork down, my stomach twisting. "Wait, I thought this was supposed to be a girls' trip." She shrugged. "Yeah, well, plans kind of changed, but it'll still be fun." I exhaled, trying to keep my tone even. "So I guess I'll come along too then." Her expression shifted, first to worry, then to disappointment. "Babe, it's my friend group. You never really enjoy hanging out with them. I don't think you'd have a great time." "Maybe not, but I'd still like to be there," I said firmly. She sighed. "I don't know, Jacob. I just feel like you'd be out of place. Maybe you should sit this one out." I leaned back, staring at her. "So let me get this straight. You expect me to be okay with you going on a trip with a bunch of guys while I stay here and just wait?" She folded her arms. "You don't trust me?" Her voice was defensive. I inhaled deeply, steadying myself. "You're not exactly giving me a reason to. You've been dodgy about this whole thing. So, which of Kevin's friends are coming?" She hesitated, avoiding eye contact. That pause was all I needed. "Rose," I said, my voice firm, "is your ex one of them?" She sighed, confirming my suspicion. "Yeah, but it's not a big deal. We're all cool now, Jacob. It's been years. He's with someone else, and I have you." I crossed my arms. "And yet, you didn't think to invite your actual boyfriend?" She rolled her eyes. "Because it's my friend group. You never have fun with them. It would just be awkward if you came." I let out a dry laugh. "But having your ex there, along with random guys, isn't awkward." "You're overthinking this," she muttered. "Kevin and his friends just want to party. It's not like I'm going for them." I shook my head. "Do you even realize how this sounds? And the fact that you're being weird about me coming. You see how that looks too, right?" Her expression hardened. "I don't need your permission, Jacob. You don't own me." "This isn't about ownership," I said, keeping my voice level. "It's about respect. Would you be okay if I went on a trip like this with my ex?" She scoffed. "I wouldn't care because I trust you." "Well, right now I don't trust you," I shot back, "because you won't even consider letting me come." That was the beginning of the end. Over the next few days, Rose and her friends painted me as a controlling boyfriend. They called me insecure, toxic, accused me of overreacting. But I knew the truth. I wasn't trying to control her. I was recognizing red flags before they destroyed me. Looking back, I don't know why I stayed as long as I did. Maybe I wanted to see if she would actually go through with it, if she would disregard my feelings completely. And then, the night before her trip arrived, she was in our room, packing her bags, chatting excitedly on the phone with Lucy about their plans. I just stood there, watching her, feeling a slow-burning anger build inside me. When she finally hung up, I spoke. "Rose?" She glanced up. "What?" I took a deep breath. "When you come back, I won't be here. Just thought you should know." Her expression froze. Hey, my name is Jacob, and I never imagined myself as the type to end a relationship over a trip. But in hindsight, it wasn't just about the trip. It was about everything it revealed. Her eyes widened, a flash of shock crossing her face, like a deer caught in headlights. Wait, what? I exhaled, steadying myself. I'm done. Her expression crumbled. You're seriously breaking up with me over a trip? I shook my head. No. I'm ending things because this trip showed me exactly who you are. She crossed her arms, her tone turning defensive. And who is that? Someone who doesn't respect my feelings, I said plainly. Someone who refuses to see why this entire situation is a problem. You're choosing a vacation with random guys, including your ex, over your relationship. And I deserve better. She opened her mouth but couldn't seem to find the right words. I pressed on. Go on your trip, have fun. But when you come back, don't expect me to be here. She scoffed, trying to appear indifferent. I don't think you're serious, but whatever. If you're going to be that insecure, maybe it's best we end things. I nodded, grabbing a bag and throwing some of my belongings into it. Yeah, it is. She glared at me for a moment before shaking her head. This is so controlling, Jacob. You're just pretending to leave to scare me. We'll have to go to therapy and deal with your issues when I get back. She rolled her eyes and let out another scoff. You'll still be here when I return. I didn't bother responding. I just kept packing. And once she walked out the door, I finished packing everything else and left her life for good. She tried reaching out a few times while she was on her trip, then her friends, and believe it or not, even her ex. They all gave me the same excuse, that nothing was happening, that nothing would happen. But by then I didn't care. I blocked them all, because at the end of the day, Rose only ever cared about what Rose wanted. She never compromised, never considered my feelings, and never showed me the respect I deserved. And that was never going to change. So I did what anyone should in the situation. I moved on. There was no point in sticking around to see if I was right about what would happen on that so-called girls' trip with her ex. Rose's perspective. Hey, it's Rose. And this is my side of what happened after everything fell apart. I never actually thought he'd leave. I figured Jacob was just being dramatic, trying to prove a point. He was always the serious type, the kind of guy who found meaning in everything. So when he broke up with me the night before my trip, I was convinced he was bluffing, that he just wanted to scare me into staying. So I left anyway. And now I've come back to an empty apartment and a silent phone. I sank onto the couch, staring at the floor as memories replayed in my head. The trip, the drinks, the whispered conversations late at night, him, my ex. I won't sit here and make excuses. I won't pretend I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I could say it wasn't intentional, that it just happened, but that would be a lie. The truth is, in that moment, with the music blaring, alcohol flowing, and the thrill of attention clouding my judgment, I didn't think about Jacob. I let myself get swept up in the excitement, in the nostalgia, in the rush of old memories colliding with new mistakes. And I hate to admit it, but Jacob was right. And now I have nothing, not even a boyfriend to feel guilty about betraying. I thought that when I got back, we could talk. That he'd be upset, of course, but that he wouldn't actually leave. That wasn't the kind of person he was. Except when I walked to the door, his things were gone. No note, no message, just gone. I didn't realize how much space he took up in my life until he wasn't in it anymore. At first, I texted, "Hey, can we talk?" No response. I called straight to voicemail. I tried again and again, but eventually I gave up because I already knew why he wasn't answering. I made my choice. I picked a trip over him, over us, over everything we built together. And in the end, I did exactly what he feared I'd do. And for what? For my ex? The guy who barely even acknowledged me on the flight home? The guy who gave me nothing but distant nods and half-hearted smiles, as if I hadn't just thrown away a real relationship for him? I thought maybe, just maybe, the trip would bring us closer, that it meant something. But the second we landed, it became painfully clear. It was just a fling to him, a fun little weekend, nothing more. I had my fun for a few days, and in return, I wrecked my entire future. Now, I sit in the silence Jacob left behind, finally understanding how much I took him for granted. He truly loved me. He fought for me. He saw the red flags in me that I refused to see in myself. And when I crossed the line, he did something I never believed he would. He walked away. I just wish I had realized what I had before I lost it. But now it's too late. Because Jacob isn't answering. And deep down, I know he never will. Hey! Thanks for watching another video. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps keep the channel going, and I truly appreciate it. Hope you have a blessed and wonderful day.